Living skillfully. Living skillfully, if you know it, play in LILLA. Inside abide alone and yet play in the LILLA outside. Manifestation is a play. Never forget the I is a transient actor whose friends are body, mind elements. Identify as that. Keep aware and play the game in LILLA as you wish, but do not leave the source. World is here to enjoy. There is so much to it. Open your eyes and live wisely. The world is so beautiful and exists for you because you want something to do with it. The wise will aspire for something else, for what sees the beauty, for who decides what is beautiful. Essence of skillfulness. Whatever comes, let it come. What stays, let stay. What goes, let go. Always keep quiet, and always adore self. This is the essence of living skillfully in the world appearance. During all activities of life, always know that you are the self. The way to live a happy, beautiful life is to accept whatever comes and not care about what does not come. Things will come, so enjoy them and be happy. Let the play happen by the supreme power. You will be taken care of. Be free to be happy. Love has no traps. If you are happy, all will be happy. If you suffer, all will suffer. If your mind smells bad, others will be affected. Keep yourself happy in peace. Light, wisdom, consciousness, this is your responsibility. Be happy and have compassion and live hand in hand with nature. This makes birth worthwhile. Start from heart and see that all arises from heart. Always do this. Always be this. You cannot be skillful and arrogant at the same time, but without arrogance, all will be skillful. Face the one. Seeing everything as one is no mind, and this is the pure state of being, of self. When you are one with all, do not hold or possess, and it will be. When you are connected to all things, do not hold on to the connections because this makes them separations, and you will have divided yourself by creating other. As the lotus does not touch the water, do not let the world enter your heart. Being busy in the world is no trouble unless you are troubled being busy. Then the only trouble is the trouble. Let attention go to manifestation. Just know that manifestation is Brahman. Let there be creations and destructions. All is Brahman, and you are beyond even that always. Your environment is very important, so stay where there is no tension. Make sure that the circumstances within and without are not disturbing. So be with peaceful beings in peaceful places. You need a place of love and beauty and peace. Even your own apartment and body must be peaceful. Love and quietness is enough. If you speak ill of anybody else, you speak ill of yourself. If you speak good, you speak good about yourself. Words have great power, so use only appropriate words. Speaking from the head is pain, and from the heart is pleasure. So shut your head, and your heart is open. Don't trouble any being, and do not let any being trouble you. Don't get angry with anyone. The tongue doesn't get angry with the teeth when the teeth bite it, and this sometimes happens when the food is good. Contentment is absolutely necessary, because whatever you will be in the next state or in the next life is whatever unfulfilled desire that you have in the present state. Therefore desire only the infinite. Let the other desires arise, and see that they arise from me, from emptiness, and then let them fall, as waves must. Don't run after projections on the screen. Be very wise. Do not lose your peace at any cost. Things will rise and fall, so not to be caught. Peace is most important. You have to be happy in the LILLA. No mind limitless happiness with freedom in your mind. Not problems. Here in this moment there is no problem, and daily life is within this moment. You cannot walk out of it. Just try to invite past and future problems into this moment. They cannot touch here, so do things of now, and do not touch yesterday or tomorrow. Remove all becoming. You are being. Becoming is effort. Being is no effort. You are always that, so be like the breeze that is attached to neither the garbage nor the garden that it blows over. Do not run away from worldly activities. Only always keep in the I am self. Stay as the screen on which all the projected activities take place. In all activities, simply keep quiet and know, I am home. Your business is to keep quiet. You cannot say that it is a dream unless you are awake. So in the true waking state, the state of wisdom, it does not matter if there are dream objects or not. Emptiness is not affected by any dream object, not even duality. Ocean does not complain about the dance of 10 million waves. So don't be concerned about the rise and fall of thoughts. To be nowhere is home. Not allowing thought to land is home. Allow thoughts to arise, but do not let them land, because thought landing is an object, which brings desire for the object, which brings possessing of an object, which brings insanity. There are only two choices, freedom or insanity. Choose, I am free and happy. Bad moods are either past or imaginary future. In the present, there are no moods at all. Moods belong to circumstance, to the past. Face the sun and there will be no shadow of moods. Give up all concepts and remain what you are. Identify yourself as cosmic consciousness. Don't accept name or form. Detachment is your own nature, so the wise are not attracted to the transient. Only the foolish cling to that which brings unhappiness and are thus butchered by time. This world is a garden, a game. Play this divine game very well. See things only as they are, but do not possess them, or you will be in trouble, because even your body is transient. The next breath is not guaranteed, so do what you have to do now. Play well, play wisely, by first finding out who you are. Yoga only, no boga. First finish your work. Then go to the world with a heart that is dancing. Don't use words for this dance, because the game is tricky. Just be silent. The world is like a tail of a dog. Its nature is to curl. The best you can do is to stay quiet and not let anything bother you. Visitors will come and go. Don't interfere with these waves. Be always empty and let desires dance. Being asleep in the waking state is being asleep to desires and aversions. The avalanche of vasanas which may happen as you approach the summit is notions, intentions, ideations. With no intention, there is no summit, and that is here. Hidden tendencies arise to leave when you are quiet, so it is a good sign when vasanas rise. Do not be dismayed because they are self. Let vasanas rise, they do not exist. The world is a playground for the wise and a graveyard for the foolish. Let the vasanas play. They are transient imaginations, and even the I, to which they occur, is imagination itself. Abide as substratum and allow circumstances to come and go. Stay quiet, with no intention or notion, not even to inquire for freedom, and don't utter the word I. Then the gods and demons of the vasanas will vanish. Your true nature does not come and go. Play with what comes and goes. When they arise, they will disappear. Allow them to go away. Let things happen to the mind ego and just stay quiet as they happen, with the firm conviction, I am, I am. This meditation is absolutely necessary to clear tendencies. Only in the dream do you see objects. Know that all objects are dream objects and that the dream snakes are not real. You have been ignorant for years, so when you know the truth, you must focus on staying as such for some time. What else is important? If you find that you are still in the mind, never mind. Don't remember. Then you will not forget. Though name and form and place and fields are different, consciousness is never different. So let there be these differences, but do not accept and reject anything or divide yourself, and there is no love in this division. Take a cent from $1 and you no longer have $1. A fool doesn't look at foolishness and so is foolish. The wise one looks at foolishness and so is wise. Have no individuality. Surrender to space or dissolve the ego with knowledge. Just keep quiet and watch the ego. Keep vigilantly alert, aware, but not involved. Doing is trouble. Clinging to non-eternal things is arrogance. No clinging is loving all. So don't cling and don't cling, because both conceal the truth. What you have to lose. There is no water in the mirage, only dry sand. Be attached to only that which is impossible to be separate from. If you have to think, I am pure consciousness. If you have to speak about the self. If you have to read what the enlightened have written. I advise you to have good company, a pure sattvic diet, attend satsang, and live in harmony with nature. Be as you are and allow no concepts to trespass into your peace. Your foremost duty is to remove concepts and engagements. Love all beings. Love all beings. Love all beings. Treat the ego and mind like shoes. Wear them when you need to go out and take them off at the door when you are at home. Otherwise, the seat in which knowledge would sit is occupied. The thought, I am the body, is enough to occupy the throne, so keep the mind and ego out with the shoes, until there is no in and no out, and no one left to wear them. Buddha nature flows from simply doing, not doer thinking doing. Allow things to happen, you just stay here. What has to happen is happening. Just remain here as peace. Just remain as peace. Just remain as peace. How to live in the world. When you are strong in the experience of that, you can live in any circumstances. This is the end of desire. How to stay with desire without disturbing our consciousness, our awakening? Simply do not touch what disturbs you. Be aware and drop back to this pure I as pure consciousness at an individual level. If you have this experience, you'll help other people simply being and not necessarily speaking about it. Waves radiate from this one, and others are benefited, as a silent rose attracts by its radiant beauty. Eternal love is the perfume that attracts people. Try it. You'll find people pulled to you. Does one need to live in comfort or austerity? India doesn't offer the comforts of life. India has everything, but it doesn't allow you to use these things as bodily comforts. It may not be the same comfort that they speak of in the West, though. A true comfortable life is very simple living and very simple things. This comfortable life is only available in India, not in the West. How do I let go of control and be natural and let existence guide me? Many people ask this question. You must know this answer yourself. I will tell you this, though. When you say let go, you imply that you have let in something. How did you allow this letting in? In and out is the same gate. This is what the Bible means when it says, "From dust it comes, to dust it returns." From where something arises, there it falls too. Who did you allow in? It is of no use to keep an old habit. Keeping an old, troublesome habit is like keeping poisonous snakes in your arms. Now is the time to hold this snake by the tail and throw it out. This snake is someone that you love. If you feel the bite of this snake, throw it away. This doesn't take time. Unless you throw out the old habit, you will not see the beauty of the fresh habit. This fresh habit will bring tears of joy from your eyes. Let go by knowing the pain of holding. There is no struggle in sleep. Who does not struggle in sleep, and who struggles when awake? Everything that happens naturally. What is born must die. It is only that you want things to happen in your own way, and that is the trouble. How can I add more peace bit by bit to my life? I don't believe in bit by bit like the sparrows eat. The crocodiles swallow the whole thing. You just slip in and stay comfortably inside. Millions of people are inside the stomach of the crocodile of death. Every minute, a person is dying and being chewed by this crocodile, even a day-old baby, but nobody knows. Avoid this death by knowing that there is no crocodile and that you are free, swimming in the ocean of freedom. If you say, "I am so-and-so," then you land in the stomach of the crocodile. But if you don't use any name, then who are you? Don't land on any name of the past, present, or future. You have to abandon everything for freedom. God, mind, and especially I. Then when freedom comes, it comes instantly, it comes immediately, all at once. The only impediment is the indecision of not removing the arrogance of "I am not that." This is saying, "I am suffering," which is like a fish in the water saying, "I am thirsty." So simply say, "I am." In this dream, is it better to act with love, kindness, and generosity, as so many spiritual teachings suggest? Or doesn't it matter how you act? These are suggestions from the teachers. Those who have truly experienced emptiness have no teaching or suggestions. They simply say, "Keep quiet." How can I be non-identified when suffering and emotion comes out? Suffer when there is suffering and be happy when there is happiness. Just don't accept and don't reject. Be like a breeze which just blows through the gardens and garbage equally. This moment cannot be separated from air. Learn from the breeze and don't stay at a particular place. What to do when a desire arises? Fulfill it. When there is an unfulfilled desire, you are in difficulty. Why not finish it? How can I always be happy? There is a state between waking and sleeping, and between sleeping and waking, where there is no time. Stay like this state and you will be happy. Stay with no desire for any person, object, or concept. This is called sleeping, but nobody knows how to do it. Waking state is the attachment with persons, objects, and ideas. This is called the waking state. Keep up the state with no concepts, which is the sleep state of a realized person. The suffering state of the unrealized person is the state of persons, objects, and concepts. Stay in between the transient in-between time. Don't ignore the zero time between waking and sleeping, between inhalation and exhalation, and between day and night. The first and last thought should be, let there be peace. So stay aware as you transition between waking and sleep. In this moment, simply be existence, consciousness, bliss. Spend time with self at this moment. Your homework is to always feel happy. Leave aside the I thought and all other thoughts and just keep happy. The past is hell, so the secret of happiness is that nothing touches you in the moment. The human life is celebration. Welcome to the planet, plunge into this moment. This is happiness, all the rest is suffering. You have nothing to do, simply stay as you were, like a lotus in a pond. You may live in the dirty water, but you are above it and you don't do anything about the circumstances. Don't touch the circumstances. Don't be attached to anything, and yet live with everything. Would you advise me to go to Ramana Ashram and inquire there? The grace is there as it is here, so it doesn't matter. What matters is that you make the best of any circumstance that you are in. Your time must be utilized in a perfect way. Don't look behind, but have a strong decision that you will do it. Soon I plan to leave, and this planning is not in your hands. You came for 3 days, but you have stayed 3 weeks. Just react to circumstances. Planning does not work. Simply be. You are right. You will always be in my heart because I don't exist. And this will be your name. I don't exist. The name is Maina. Maina was the mother of a king in India in ancient times. The king had 4 queens, and once she was sitting in the balcony above where the king's 4 wives were giving him a bath in milk and honey mixed together, as was the custom then. She would have been happy, but she wasn't, and a tear dropped and landed on the body of her son. Though the king was covered in milk and honey in the hands of the queens, he still felt this one tear because it had so much power. What is this I have felt? And in looking up he saw his crying mother. Mother, you should be happy. I am enjoying my bath and you are crying. She replied, Yes, my dear son, the body you are looking after and that which the queens are rubbing is not worth it. It is not worth it because every next day it becomes older and it will lead you to death. Don't only look after your body. Look toward your happiness because the body stays only 80 or 90 years. And after that, what will happen? So do it now. After the bath, sit down and meditate. Then he prostrated before his mother and left the palace to go and win freedom. This is the instruction of a good mother. The only way I can thank you for what you have given me is to be still. If you are still, you can't lose anything. When you are still, everyone will think you are attentive and awake, and they will not come near you. Stillness is the greatest achievement one can have in life. Stillness is not so very easy, and so few people will opt to be still. And among these, a rare one will be successful. Now you have started losing objects. Next, you will lose your desires. Then you will lose your ego, and finally your ignorance. Losing all this, only stillness remains. Papaji, I have a letter for you, but it is very confidential, and I don't want you to read it out loud. I have no privacy. Don't keep anything confidential or secret, because the day will come when everything will be known. Keeping anything confidential will trouble you. You are here with your own family, your own friends. Kabir says this also. Don't keep anything confidential, because if you do, it will revolve in your head, and at the time of departure, it will be your next birth. What you concentrate on will bring you your next birth. I want to serve people from my heart, from essence to essence. I don't seem to be able to do this in my present occupation as a doctor. Tell me what to do and where to go. What is the number of my flight? The number of your flight is 000. Your destination is here now. Just don't get attached to the transit lounge as you wait for your flight. Your neighbors to the right and left are coming and going, and now you are left alone, where nobody is on the right flight. I have heard that people like Ramana and Ramakrishna had to give up their studies and games in order to develop spiritual strength. You don't have to give things up to develop spiritual strength. I don't teach to stop your studies and to meditate. You can keep up your natural interest, whatever they are. I have played cricket, and now this is my interest. To see cricket, I don't lose anything. The games and studies can be carried on without any difference, and you can still realize yourself. Ramakrishna did it, as did Ramana, you see. Though Ramana had only a high school education, the doctors and PhDs bowed down before him. He was not an illiterate, and he didn't give up his studies. He was as common a man as anyone, helping in the kitchen to cut the vegetables and playing with the monkeys and cows. He didn't leave his interests. He studied very well and was in love with everything, including rocks, monkeys, and cows. He didn't leave anything. What Ramana has taught me, I am teaching to everyone, and everybody who truly listens to me will become Ramana. I want to be silent. You can always be quiet, no matter what you are speaking or doing. Inside you will still be silent. Silence is always there, no special time is needed. I make everybody quiet without disturbing their routine of life, and wherever you go you can keep this quietness because one is always quiet. In your own place, in your own self, no one can die. But the fisherman, which is the mind, will try to take you away and bring you to the market. Then in the evening you will be on the table. Therefore, stay in the water and don't become enamored by the food of the fisherman, because underneath the food is an angle that you do not see. Whenever you enjoy, there is a hook, but you don't see it. All enjoyments hook you. But now be aware and do not go near the easy food, or you will be angled. Beware. Stay in the deep waters and food will come to you by itself. No fish will die in deep water. It is only the greedy ones who go for the quick food who die. This is how to keep quiet. What should I do with my judgments? Don't judge at all, and if you do, judge your own self. Give up the concept of judging. If you want to judge, judge what the purpose of your life is. Judge yourself. Judge your intention. And judge your mistakes, not those of others. Allow others to do what they are doing. It is not your problem. Though I am a devotee of Shiva and have been chanting his name for years, I have been recently having dreams of Krishna. Why is this? Shiva lives in the cremation ground, and you have gone there, and so he is very happy with you. Because of this, he has sent you out of the graveyard to enjoy the gopis with Krishna. When God is happy, he fulfills your desires that you are carrying buried within. In your case, he is removing your allergic reaction to women. Don't carry anything of the past. Let it happen and then forget about it. You have come from the cremation ground, so now enjoy yourself. Krishna teaches you enjoyment. Shiva and Krishna are the same God. Don't care about which one is before you. In the Shiva aspect, he says to go and meditate in the graveyard and have fierce renunciation and determination. This means that you should go to where nobody can interfere with you. Go to where your mind is not disturbed. Stay alone in the graveyard. Then when you have everything, enter the universe because it is beautiful. This is the Krishna aspect. Why shun it? Why run away from it? You only need to know the proper tact of handling the serpent either by the tail or by the tongue and fangs. That tact you must learn from me, because it has two tongues, and one simple prick of its fangs is quite enough. So handle the serpent by the tail and shake it, and you will break its bones. Then it will still be a snake, but it will be harmless because it can't move. Like this, you must know the tact to handle everything, not from the front, but from the back. How to kill the serpent demon? You must kill the demon as Ram killed Ravana and Krishna killed Kamsa. Kill the demon by purity. Few people can create what they want in their lives. Are you speaking on your own behalf or on the behalf of the planet? Look after yourself first, and then look after your neighbors if necessary. It seems that since we are made in the image of God, that we could have that creative power or will to satisfy our desires. But instead we live in fear and frustration. If you believe you are made in the image of God, then it will be all right for you. But you don't believe it. If you believe that you are the image of God, then there will never be a problem, since God will look after you. But this image is running after something else, not God, but demons. Hence your fear and frustration will never end. But your fear and frustration will vanish when you come to satsang and stay with your teacher. If you try to do it yourself, you will only listen to your ego and mind, and you will be frustrated. See that you don't touch the ego and mind. Never touch it. Only then will you be happy. Don't follow the foolish. Follow the footsteps of the sage, and you will become a sage. Only 1 in a billion on earth are really wise and know. Know that you are being pulled from the millions of pigs on earth to be eternally happy and to challenge death, to be untouched by death. On this side, this is the reward. On the other side is the slaughterhouse. Pick up what you want. You won't find satisfaction to the physical desires of your physical embodiment. Nobody is happy, not even the kings, and certainly not the beggars, because they are all ordinary people governed by the mind and ego. How can we make our universe a more colorful and happy event? The universe is given to you to play in, not to cry about. You are not to cry, weep, and suffer. There are so many beautiful things, like the forest, rivers, animals, mountains, and birds, all for your happiness. But you are suffering, and so the mountain gives you suffering. Find out how to sing like a small sparrow sings for the joy of everyone. Why can't you do this? Who stops you? The only problem is that you want to do things the way you want them done. Leave everything in the hands of the divine, and your activities will be divinized. Surrender your will, and you will be happy. Surrender your will to the will of God. Let it be done. This will give you happiness, though nobody ever does it. Just try it, for a day at least. I thank you for your love and compassion. How can I be like a bird who leaves no footprints? If you are always in satsang, you will not leave any footprints because you will not look to the past attachments. When you are free of attachments, you have no footprints. This is very simple. Don't be attached because it will land you in difficulty even if they seem to give you happiness at first. No attachment ever gives happiness because both the attachee and the attached are in the attaché case. All attachments close you into a box, and you are carried away by your desires. Don't follow any attachment, and get rid of the company of those who give you chains of attachment. Keep the company of the free people who desire freedom. Think of freedom. Walk in freedom. Stay with those who aspire for freedom. This is the only way not to have footprints. Is there more to it other than just being and accepting what appears? That is enough. Accept what is presented to you and reject what doesn't come to you. If something comes, accept it. If something doesn't come to you, do not aspire for it. Don't desire what your neighbor has. Don't think of it. Be contented with whatever you have. Don't look at others. This is the best teaching that you can have, and you don't need any other. Contentment. Everybody is greedy and jealous and hateful because they are not content. They do not know the simple trick. Keep happy whatever is given to you. Wherever you are, keep happy. Now, how can someone make a decision based on dharma and not ego and the I thought? The supreme dharma is to reject all dharma. This is your dharma. All dharma of doing things and not doing things don't care about. Supreme dharma is to reject all the dharma of the world. If you reject everything, what will happen? This dharma will reach you to the perfect peace and love. Your supreme dharma is to reject all dharmas. Will you change my name? Govinda dances with illusion, Radha, but he knows he is dancing and keeps as a witness of both these dancers. Dance with the circumstances and keep aware of the dancers and of the purpose of the dance. I will give you the name Govindas, the devotee of Lord Krishna. Krishna is responsible and will give you all you need. Being a devotee of the mind, everyone is proud. Don't sell yourself for the sake of pleasure and then suffer. How much time do we have, and how much of this for sleeping and eating? Don't waste time. Make the best of it. Depend upon the Lord who looks after the creation. Surrender to the divine will, not to your own will. So I give you the name Govindas, a servant of the Lord only. I have met many crocodiles in my life, but you are the only one I trust. You are becoming a crocodile yourself, and are even learning the language. You become like the association that you keep. You become one with them. I was living such a dark life of theft and robbing before coming here. What snapped me out of it is when I started to plan a murder. I am so glad I have come. You look like a good boy. Where did you get all these bad habits? Bad company? Don't worry about your past and live the rest of your life in service to man, not killing them. Humans are a good species. They don't have tails. But those who do not behave like humans are really animals. They bark and bite others. You are a beautiful boy. So behave like a good human being and not like an animal. Relationships, marriage, and sexuality. The relationships you keep have a great effect on you. You become what you associate yourself with. So stay only in holy company, only travel with those in the same boat. Nothing is better than satsang to keep your friends here. Associate only with those going in the same direction, and go to truth at any cost. Be the one, for one is none. This is the basic good association. Where there are many, there is falsehood. So send all your thoughts away. Shun their bad association. A friend is one who does not disturb your mind. Maintain no friendship with ones who disturb your mind, no matter how close they are, be it a person, a place, or idea. Do not accept the invitations of foolish persons, because when you live in their society, truth will not kiss you. Wicked habits in society will come back to you. They are very strong, and so you must be. You are going upstream to the source. They are flowing downstream and will drag you along. The love that any two beings share is the love of self, for self. Keep away all notions and intentions, and you are meeting all beings in this love. This is self meeting self. All attraction is for the self only, though appearances are deceiving. If you use this word love for what goes on between skin and skin, it must be replaced by the word lust. Relationship causes separation, anger, fear, and grief. It does not cause love. Understand that you are not in love with a body. A body, be a man or woman, is a corpse. Know that what appears to be love for another is really love of self, because other doesn't exist. So this innermost love can be given to no other. Love of friends is for the sake of self, not for the body to body. True love has no lover or beloved, because all love is love of self. If you want to really love, love the Supreme Self right now. Love the ultimate truth. This love is freedom. Wherever there is two, there is fear of separation, and this separation must eventually occur, because body meeting body is transient. Only marriage with freedom will last. Any friendship with anything else will not abide and will bite you in the end. This isn't to say you should run away from relationships. Nature is not foolish. Man and woman together is okay. Being a householder is not a hindrance to freedom. Even all the rishis and gods are householders. You just have to be with the right person, going in the right direction so that you keep focused on self. Just remember freedom first. How can loving be more natural? Loving is natural. It is hating that is not natural. Love cannot become natural because it is the natural state. The unnatural state is to hate those who irritate you. This unnatural state will create so much trouble for you in this life, and it will create more lives in which you will be troubled. Be free of this by begging forgiveness of those who have insulted you lifetimes ago. Love who will not like it. Love everybody, because love is God. If you love everybody, you will become God. As God, you'll never hurt your own creatures. This makes the difference. Love is natural. Console your mind and make it listen. Love all, or it is not love. Make your mind love this way, and you will see the magic of this every day. Then other people will come close to you. When they do, don't hurt them. Is the feeling of love for a loved one a creation of the mind? Love of other is mind. Love for the self is not a creation of the mind. To love someone else is a creation of the mind and will not give you a good experience. You can only love self. Mind is destroyed when you love yourself, and you can't love yourself with the mind. Papaji, my husband is a spiritual seeker and wants to focus on that, but I want to have sex and a baby. Can you help? All activities are possible in no mind. Actually, when you are meeting so close together, it is a form of natural meditation, though this is a different yoga than what I speak of. Do everything with no mind. Sleeping together with no mind is called meditation, and this is called the beauty of love. You become one. You are one. You will see that you are one. You are not meeting anyone else. You are not touching the physical forms of each other. This happiness does not arise from your body, but from another reservoir. Don't forget about this reservoir, which gives you the bliss of this union. Go to this reservoir during every activity and you will see that the bliss is the same. Whether there is no activity or the best of activities, you have to understand this secret. I want to share my life with a woman. Is this a distraction? Can you advise me? Why don't you enjoy life like that famous teacher recently taught? He taught people to enjoy sex now because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. The example he used is that the same ladder you use to come down, you must use to go up. So it is sex which brought you into samsara. So it is sex that will take you out, and the bliss of sex is the bliss of Brahman. My teaching is different. Neither coming down nor going up. You don't need an old bamboo ladder which will break. Now there's elevators that bring you to the top floor of the Empire State Building in seconds. Get into this express elevator and press your own buttons. You don't need anyone else. Inquire where you have come from, and you will not be able to say, "Stay here." Here doesn't mean anywhere. No, you are always beautiful and fresh, shining everywhere. Understand this. Those who love are the wisest of this world's 6 billion. Very few will know it. Because you are not to do anything and not to think about anything, this nobody knows. Here there is no teaching, no past, no time, no future. Just know who you are. And that is all. This is what you hear in Lucknow. You came from all nations to Lucknow because there is no country which you belong to. You are the self within, untouched by earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Instantly you will know this, and this is why you have come. Is it wrong to want to stay in duality in order to love? If you love your own self, is it duality? If the wave loves the ocean, is this duality? It is not duality, but there is a way of thinking otherwise. Unless you know yourself, even your own body is duality. But in sleep there is no duality at all. Even your body is not there and is not duality. No relationships are there because you are simply sleeping. So if you want to remove this duality, feel that you are sleeping. Sleeping means not looking at others as others, but all as one. When you dream, the duality arises. So many mountains and rivers arise when you dream. But when you sleep, where do they go? It means that you create this duality. Otherwise, all things are one. You create duality. I am here, somebody is there. I am a woman, somebody is a man. This is your own creation. When you wake up, everything at the first instant instantly rises in front of you. Just an instant when you wake up from the formlessness of the sleep. Everything is there and just one step out. Why should it be there? Where did you bring it? It means you create the universe. You create the relations. Where were they in the sleep? You don't even see your own body. No gods, no teachers, no students are there. Are you not happy without all these things? I feel that my boyfriend and I can help each other toward freedom, but we are so fearful of abandonment that we cannot commit to each other entirely. You want to help each other toward God and toward freedom, but how can you do this with so much fear in your mind? I don't understand this language at all. Most people love each other, and yet this fear of abandonment is there. This fear I find only in the West. Here in India, we don't have this fear. So I advise you to be united with the very strong bond of marriage. The people who are afraid are those who are not married to each other. So they have fear. In India, we marry, and then it is finished. You can't leave each other. There is no fear. You have to stay with each other until the end. This union will bring you very close to divine light. During the marriage ceremony, the Vedic mantras will be chanted with the meaning that you have to walk together step by step, hand in hand, consulting each other before you do anything. Each one of you will give love and happiness to each other and not be interested in one's own self. You will live for each other. These marriages are permanent and eternal. And with each other, these people find peace, love, light, wisdom, and everything. Don't have fear. I have two friends who stayed in Paris for 13 years without marrying because the man, Michael, would not agree to it because he thought he would be dominated and not allowed to see other girls. So I scolded him and told him how special this girl was and that she had lived with me in Rishikesh. I was very angry with this boy, very angry, and so I pushed him out of his own house. I had forgotten I was his guest. It was the month of December in Paris, and you can imagine how cold it was. So his girlfriend asked if she could give him a coat. "He will freeze, master, he will freeze. Can I give him a coat?" I said, "No, he is a very bad boy, a very bad boy." I didn't care. When I woke up the next morning, I saw a sign on the door. "Thank you, master. We are going to marry now." So we performed a Vedic marriage with a yagna and homa. That was 17 years ago, and now they have 3 children. It is a very good marriage. You have to commit entirely if you love someone. If you have fear, you can't even meet God. So you must decide. This is my only advice. You can also live together without marriage if you have this understanding. Most of the sages, like Janaka, Vashishta, Maitri, Krishna, and Rama, were all married. The problem with being unmarried is that people usually think and dwell on the opposite sex more than a married person does. Though outside there may be a yogic posture, inside there are disturbing thoughts. So why not be side by side? You can do whatever makes you happy. My partner causes me to suffer so much. I want to be free of this distraction. As the ass kicks the donkey, and yet the donkey keeps following behind her, trying to smell under her tail. Again, the ass kicks, and again the donkey with a bleeding nose continues to follow her. At this time, the donkey doesn't try to ask any questions about realizing God. It just keeps trying to smell under the tail. This is exactly how most people are. Exactly. So you'll get what you want. You must be very sincere and honest. Then you can get it. It'll come if you have a pure heart. Then you'll get everything and all will be offered to you by nature. Try now or today or sometime during the span of human life. You will see how easy it is. But if you want two things at the same time, it will not happen. Touch the nectar of love and see what is offered to you. Two things, though, cannot go together. We just can't break out of the rut we have developed together. Forgive and forget. Look at your own mistakes and not to the other's mistakes. Then you can lead a beautiful life. But most people make the mistake of finding the other person responsible for the trouble, while they themselves take pride in their own purity. They believe that they don't make mistakes themselves. To forgive is divine. Look at your own mistakes. You will see that it was due to your own mistakes that the misunderstanding arose. If a man makes the same mistake day after day, then it becomes his nature, and you must accept it. Now stop thinking about your girlfriend. Enough is enough. You are in satsang for 2 hours a day. You can give your girlfriend the other 22 hours of the day to suck you, but give these 2 hours to satsang, to your own self. Do this, and you will not repent later. This is wisdom. Spend 2 hours for your purpose. Don't let your mind go out while you are in satsang. Slowly you will see the prize you will get for keeping quiet for 2 hours. More and more you must get attracted to what you actually are, the eternal self, and not to the body, mind, ego, or anything with name and form which comes and goes. Discriminate between transient things and the eternal love that you are. Then do whatever you want, whatever you please. My heart is so filled with love and gratitude. Even though this love is always there, it is sometimes covered up with fear and disappears. Love doesn't disappear at all, but this word, love, is mistaken for lust. Love is pure. It cannot change. If you once fall in love with your own self, there is no escape from it. But when it comes and goes, some person must be involved in it, and that is called lust, not love. Several years ago, I had a husband, a house, a job, and a child. But the child died, and the husband left, and I left the job. This is what I say. Your husband was involved in this love. Here you have the difference between love and lust. Losing everything is a good sign. Otherwise, you never would have come here. For the sake of freedom, everything can be lost. And in your case, it was your stars to happen. You could not and cannot change anything, and so you should not think about it or worry about it. After all, what benefit can you derive from relationships, and for how long will you have these benefits? When the sparrow, which twitters and you flies off, they will get rid of you as fast as they can. This has to happen. So if it is going to happen tomorrow, then understand it today. Then you will be happy. Otherwise, you lose the game that you are here to play. So take things as they come and be happy and lucky on this occasion. Now I experience an emptiness, but this emptiness keeps me apart from others, especially males, though I long for a man. There is no male or female in emptiness. You must be experiencing something else. You have been given some trouble by a male, but this doesn't mean all males are bad. You can try to satisfy yourself with relationships, but the time will come when you know that you don't need any relationship. This is why kings get enlightened. They have no more desires. Beggars are not enlightened because they are attached to their begging bowls and their robes and malas. The kings have so many queens and gold and diamonds and elephants and maidens. The night comes when they realize that it is all not enough. There is a story in the Upanishads of a king who had 2 queens. One was Maitri and the other Katyani. The king was 60, Katyani was 40, and Maitri was 20. Just imagine the taste of the king. Maitri was the beauty of the land. One night he saw a glimpse of the truth and told the queens, "I have decided to leave the kingdom. Tonight I divide all the kingdom and treasure and ministers and servants, an army evenly between the two of you." Maitri said, "When I came to you, you said that I was the most precious thing in the world and that you were more attracted to me than to anything else. So your desire to leave me is confusing. There must be something more beautiful than me, because otherwise you would not be so foolish to leave me in the kingdom. So I will go with you and serve you, and together we will find what is so beautiful. I give my share of the kingdom to Katyani." They went into the forest together, and both of them attained freedom. This is the resolve that is needed, that you would even give up your kingdom. Not less than this will do, and therefore the kings have done it, and not the ordinary person who is so filled with desire. Get this, and you will be the king of the kingdom of heaven. If you attend satsang with only the desire for freedom in your mind, you will be rewarded someday. This you will gain, and you will lose nothing. I feel that my life of music, tennis, girls, drinking, and eating is distracting my spiritual growth. Self-realization doesn't tell you to shun the things that life needs to do. This self is not so timid to do or not to do something. Self is fullness and accepts anything that you do. You say you are distracted. This distraction has to be distracted from your mind. This self is not afraid of girls. Is suffering needed to balance the enjoying? If you are trained in the yoga I speak of, there is no suffering, only enjoying. If something is there, you enjoy it. And if it is not there, you enjoy all the better. After you are with the girls, you sleep and enjoy this better than anything else, even though you are not with them anymore. So this is the trick. Whether you are alone or busy with the activities of the world, you should not differentiate. Feel as alone as you are when you sleep. If enjoyment is there, then enjoy it. If it is not there, then enjoy that. Normally when you enjoy, you must suffer, but if you learn the trick, then suffering and enjoyment are the same. You must know, if things are there, then enjoy. If not, it doesn't matter. My marriage has fallen apart, and with it I feel that the part of me which was married is dead now. This is a beautiful death. After this death you can come to satsang, but only if you leave him behind. He has left you, but have you left him? I have left him. Then don't speak of him. You really haven't left him. You have to be strong. The weakness you feel is from the conditioning of male arrogance. I want a new name to begin living anew. Name is not important. What is beyond name is important. I will give you a name of that so you forget the world of names and forms. But if I give you this name, you will have to vow not to touch anyone who has a name. This is reasonable, isn't it? Sometimes I am very reasonable, very good. Cello. Why do you recommend people in satsang to marry? Why should you live alone? You can help each other in this relationship that is greater than the relationship with father, mother, brothers, sisters, children, or friends. The husband and wife relationship is a very pure relationship. I recommend a married life because it is this life which will give you peace in the end. The friends which enjoyed your youth will not come near you when you are old, but your partner will, because you are one soul in two bodies. It is very special, and I can't explain it to the people of the West because they don't know the relationship of husband and wife. It seems to be out of fashion to be married. There's so much confusion in marriage in the West. There is confusion before marriage, during marriage, and after divorce. What is the proper way of marriage if the purpose is realization? Realization of the self also is a marriage of the soul with the Paramatma. Harmonious life between two is only possible when freedom is their common goal. I can tell you about the Vedic way of marriage. First, you have to ask some special guests to your wedding ceremony. Earth is your mother, and so Earth is worshipped first in any puja. All the elements are worshipped, as are all the directions, and the gods and the sun and the moon. They are all called to the wedding as guests to witness and bless the puja. Then you eat honey, milk, curds, and sweets, so that your speech is sweet. You are married for freedom. This is what you are moving through this species for, and why you are a human this time. What is true trust and devotion in the context of marriage? The husband trusts the wife, and the wife trusts the husband, and there is no divorce. It is an eternal marriage performed before your birth. But Western marriage doesn't last long, and people hitchhike between partners until they are too old for it. In the Vedic wedding, you take an oath to not even look at another person. This marriage you cannot break. You walk around the fire 3 times, which symbolizes the fire of life. Equality is shown by each taking a turn leading around the fire and each sitting on both sides of the other. Can one attain enlightenment while married? I believe, and the Aryan culture agrees, that you have to marry. If you don't, you will keep the other inside your heart. And if they do, they will be at your side. Sex is very important to everybody, and so married life is necessary. If a lack of sex helped you to be enlightened, then eunuchs would be the first to be free. Your marriage is the most important factor in your life. Brahmacharya usually is taken to mean celibacy, but it means also to be with your wife or husband with the intention to produce children. Marriage is only Vedic. All marriage in the West is not a marriage. Staying near yourself is real Brahmacharya. You have said it is good to be married, but my experience is it is better not to be. In your case, you spend all your time trying to be together and you never found a minute to be alone. It is the aloneness that makes you happy, and not the time together. When you have no more desires, you are happy. Desirelessness is happiness. This only happens when you are alone without person, concept, or object in your mind. You can stay as a couple, but never forget the purpose of your life, freedom. 2 people can be together as husband and wife if they both have the desire to be free. Then there is no harm. The partner you have been with wanted you only for physical enjoyment, so of course it did not work. You both have to be on the same track in order to be helpful to each other. There are so many couples here in satsang living together and helping each other. Avoid those partners who only suck and lick your skin. Isn't it a trick of the mind to think I need a marriage partner? The trick of the mind is that you think you don't need freedom. Be wise. You can select a partner, but make sure they're on the same track. Marry the person who you are balanced with. I want to be free and I want to meet a man. Both things are not going to happen. One at a time. Either you are busy with a man or with your own self. But I will give you a trick. First, be busy with yourself. Then if you are busy with 1,000 men, you will not be touching any of them. I am usually so blissful when I am alone, and I forget who I am when I am with other people. You can only be blissful when you are alone and not when you are with someone else. When you are with someone else, you can't be happy because there is always a fear that the person may leave. There will always be this fear unless you learn how to live alone without other. From morning to night, you are always jealous and in fear and conflict. But when you sleep, the fear is gone because you are alone. Not even your body is with you. You are alone when there is no contact with body, intellect, or senses. Then you are happy. Is there a time in the life of a devotee when it is better not to have sex? Sex and devotion can run concurrently. Are you satisfied now? There is no clash between sex and the search for truth, because truth is beyond all, beyond every concept and activity. Truth is not involved in anything. It is absolutely immaculate and untouched. Sex can be continued if you take care of yourself. One way to do this is to keep on laughing, because then you won't get old. So when you have sex, you laugh and tell me what happens. Laughter always is the best song. Self-realization is pure and cannot be polluted by semen or any effort. It is untouched. So with all these, self-realization can still happen. In the Upanishads, there is a story of a prostitute who wanted to be free and started going to all the swamis seeking help, because she heard that peace was available in the ashrams. But the swamis told their students to turn her out. Everybody rejected her, so she decided to find peace herself. She kept quiet, but the regular customers kept on banging at the door. When they walked in, they saw her meditating and her face was aglow with light. Then they sat around her and started meditating, forgetting the purpose of their visit. This makes the difference. You are not to specialize your habits in order to win freedom, because freedom is free of everything. Most saints tell their students to live a special kind of life. But ask the Swami if he is not a product of sex himself. None of them have won freedom. So there is no particular rule about it. I want to be free is quite enough. It has nothing to do with your circumstances, as I have pointed out with the story. For sex, you need two bodies. But self doesn't belong to one sex or another, or anybody. I have children, and I have grandchildren, and I have great-grandchildren too, and none of them have held me up. You don't need to be without sex. How can I produce children without sex? Everything was there, and I didn't reject anything. Does the quality of making love make a difference? The quality of making love certainly makes a difference, and this love is with your beloved one. That will make the difference. Make love with your beloved. Do you know who your beloved is? Is it someone who you have missed, and that beloved is waiting for you? So fearlessly you should go, and straight away to your beloved. This will be a very special meeting for the first time. Then you will become pure with thoughts looking at your beloved. What should one do about the sexual drive? Drive it, but make sure you remove the concept of otherness before you do, and then look within. Then you are in love. Now you are thinking? There is silence. Go deeper into unfathomable silence. Don't touch mind, touch only love. Papaji, I have 3 questions. The first one is, why are the sexual experiences so attractive to the ego? The second question is the desire to be free of desire still a desire? Why can't ego live without desire? Can I be free without renouncing the world? The third question is, why do I fear death so much? Your questions are about sex, freedom, and death in that order. I think the second question should have been the first. How to be free should have been the first question. All the other questions indicate that you want to be a slave of your sexual desires. I want to be free of these desires. That is the second question only. You want to cling to your sexual desires. But these desires cannot be fulfilled. You need another person to fulfill these desires. How long can you stay with this other person? Could it be more than a minute? A few minutes? 2 minutes. Okay. Then after this 2 minutes, didn't the sexual object kick at your back? You can see this on the Lucknow roads. A donkey fulfills its desires and still runs after the ass only to be kicked in the face again and again. With a bleeding nose, he still follows her. This is what will happen to everybody. It is the donkey's nose, but your mind which is bleeding. Your mind is bleeding. It is always going to the past to remember what you had done, and so it cannot enjoy the present. Presently, you cannot enjoy the present. All this enjoyment comes from the past because all desire belongs to the past. Yes, it always comes from the past. Your enjoyments belong to the graveyard, the past. So now, desire for the present happiness. But why won't these memories go away?